Чого? Я не бачу. Ой, Боже. Давай, Ігор! Давай. Ігор! Побіжали.
Hello and welcome to another day in paradise and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, guys, I got to admit it, I do love my Shkon parents, as you would say. You would call them your parent-in-laws if you are married. They are very, very nice people, but there is something about them which, I don't know, that drives me crazy. There is something about them that drives me nuts. It's the fact that they have a beautiful daughter and their daughter is their only daughter. It's their only child. Because of this, they are always extra careful. I'd like to say to the point of paranoia, but I gotta be careful, right? So what are we doing? Right now, we are planning to leave Vienna. Why? Because of this.
Not anymore. The West warned Vladimir Putin was about to attack. He said he had no such plans. A glance at the map shows a country under attack from east to west, north to south.
We will strive for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine.
Well, people here in Kyiv woke to the sound of air raid sirens up above as citizens who'd long prayed for peace now had to face war. Well, what about Russia? In an address on state television, Vladimir Putin claimed his country had been left no choice but to defend itself against what he suggested were threats from modern Ukraine, and that Moscow would try to what he called denazify this country.
Oh, yes, I know what you're thinking. We are nowhere near where this is taking place, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Take a look at this map. This is the city where the Russian helicopters have attacked in western Ukraine, and this is where we are located. It's a mere 300 miles away. It's not very far. I think part of the reason is because my in-laws had once escaped a war in their own country and they had fled to Switzerland. I don't know. I think they are very, very worried. Should you guys be worried? Is this the start of World War III? Should we be worried about our Nigerian brothers and sisters, of which there is a large population of them in Kyiv right now? Well, please sit back. I'm going to try and take you through why this has happened, what should be done, and whether or not you should be worried. But first, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description. I'd also like to invite you to please follow the Oversight channel, the channel that is there to help you to invest on the African continent both safely and securely. Link also in the description. So what has started all this? There is a large African immigrant population, most of which are Nigerian, who are living in Kyiv, who are students in Kyiv. And it's important for us to realize this and to realize what type of lives they live there. Okay, so this started basically with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, i.e. NATO, which is a group of nations that formed right after World War II to help combat and help each other if one of them gets attacked by a particular country. The Ukraine wants to join NATO. Russia does not want the Ukraine to join NATO. And this is the reason why they are now invading the Ukraine. Vladimir Putin says it's for other reasons, but he is lying. He is just making an excuse to invade the country for his own selfish reasons. He's a leader who's under fire. There is a country there that used to be a former Soviet country, and now they are in disarray because there are Russian-backed separatists fighting the Ukrainian government to the east of the country. So basically, that's what's happening. Guys, I've been to the Ukraine many times. I'm going to show you a few clips actually. Because the last time I was there, I stumbled on a far-right rally being led right there in the middle of Kyiv in Maidan Square. Why should we be worried about it? Why should we even care about this? Why am I making a video about this? What's this got to do with you? Really, the only thing it's got to do with us is I want to show you and tell you straight away that the Ukraine is not a country that you may think it is. Okay, yes, on the outside it may look like a democratically run country, but really it's a plutocracy. i.e. it is run by a bunch of guys who are really high at the top, who are not making the money trickle back down. No, they are putting billions of dollars into their own back pockets. And the Ukraine, I don't know if you know this, but the Ukraine is an oil-rich country. So these plutocrats, that's what they call them. So these plutocrats are taking this money and they're putting it into their own back pockets, and they're buying these massive yachts and these huge houses in London, whilst their people are on, some of them are on less than $60 a month, literally. So, you know, a lot of people like to moan about African countries, but I'll tell you this now, it isn't just African countries or some African countries that are really poor. There are countries literally just around the corner from us that are poor. Well, are Ukrainians racist? The short answer to this is yes, they are, very. And I know a lot of you guys may say, okay, then, well, not everybody's racist. Of course, not everybody in the Ukraine is racist. But I'm going to tell you a few things about the Ukraine now. Things that I know for sure. Okay, I know that I was sponsoring a child, a mixed race child. The father was from West Africa and the mother was Ukrainian, and they had the child, and they had to, the mother had to adopt the child out. So she put the child in a shelter. Why? Because the family rejected the child. This is the norm. Normally children who are of mixed heritage, right, half African, they get rejected immediately in the Ukraine. In fact, there are now orphanages that are filled with mixed race children. And there are 2 orphanages, one of them that I used to sponsor myself many, many years ago. And this is a privately run orphanage that is also being supported by 2 filmmakers who are Ukrainians who now live in Canada. And these 2 people are, they're like, you know, they're angels. They've really done very well to help out these kids. There are only 2 or maybe 3 now, I'm not sure. But for the last time I looked, there was only 2 orphanages in the whole of the Ukraine that would accept mixed race children. There you go. So there's the Ukraine. So if any of you guys were sitting there thinking, oh, what a shame for those Ukrainian people there. Well, think again. Unfortunately, you know, I don't like talking like this. It's not the way, I don't feel good talking like this, but it needs to be said. You should not feel sorry for them. Okay, you shouldn't feel a bit of sympathy or sorrow for them. A lot of the people inside their ranks, inside their army, are part of the neo-Nazi regime. You know, they support Nazism, and part of the reason why they support it, is because the government accepts it. Why does the government accept it? The government accepts it because they need all the help they can get. They have been in trouble for the last 10 years and things are not going to get any better. From what I have just seen in the last 10 minutes, helicopters are now circling the capital city, Kyiv, which is absolutely crazy. It's mind-blowing to me. This is not far away from where I live. This is literally not a million miles away from me. Hence the reason why now me and my wife, and we're taking the kid, we're going to Switzerland. I think it's, you know, perhaps a bit of an exaggerated move, but I like keeping everybody happy. So I'm going to pop back now to Switzerland and stay there until things calm down a bit, until we know what's going on. I need to think about my children. I got to be careful. I can't take any chances, especially with these people. You know what these people are like. You know, they don't have any morality, any conscience. They will do whatever they need to do, especially at times of war. I wouldn't wish war on anybody, by the way. I'm saying this now. I wouldn't wish war on anybody. But really, I'm not going to be losing any sleep tonight. Okay. But I'm not going to be losing any sleep tonight. Until the next time, please think twice to wear a bit.